Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexander Floorzone. Today we are looking at a mouse from Roccat by the name of the Burst Core, the Burst Pro. The Burst Core is its less expensive non-pro little brother, which is pretty much the same mouse minus a few details. We'll talk a little bit about that in the video, but today we have the Burst Pro. It is a 16,000 DPI gaming mouse with fancy optical switches and all that good stuff. But anyway, we're just going to talk some of the specs and do a little review on it. Alright guys, so the way that I like to start out these reviews is with a little unboxing clip, because it gives you a really good idea of what the full product experience is like from all the way from the beginning to the end. So the whole mouse just slides out of there, and then we have an instruction manual, which we would hopefully not need, and then some replacement pads for the bottom of the mouse, which is a nice touch. Kind of nice packaging. We even got a little cover on our USB, our mouse USB, and a really nice soft, light braided cable. And we have some little stickers on the bottom to peel off to reveal the feet of the mouse, which was extremely difficult. There we go. Nope. You can get it. Come on. There you go. Woo! Alright, moving on. So these little pads here are apparently heat-treated PTFE. Regular PTFE is what you see on the feet of most gaming mouse. It has one of the lowest coefficients of friction of materials that we can actually manufacture things with. But basically, Roccat is advertising it as heat-treated, which is supposed to make it extra smooth or something. It certainly does glide very nicely, but I don't know if that's really anything to gawk at. It's probably not going to feel very different to the average user. But this easy sliding is also helped due to the light weight, 68 grams on this mouse, which is pretty light. Certainly not record-breaking, but it's on the lightweight side. And Roccat claims that the reason that it's so light is because they've created a nice sturdy shell while still being very, very light and thin, because it's a sort of honeycomb design in there, which you can see when the RGB lights up. Speaking of the RGB, we got RGB on the scroll wheel here and on the main palm of the mouse, which can be changed using Roccat's Swarm program, which you download from their website, and you can change a couple different LED options, as well as options for your buttons on the side here. You can reprogram any of the buttons on the mouse, as well as set your DPI presets. We have a little DPI preset cycler button on here, which you can set 5 different DPIs, and then every time you press it, it just cycles through them. You can turn on a little voice notification actually that says however many DPI when you click the button. All these settings are also saved on an onboard memory on the mouse, so wherever you take it, wherever you go, it will be saved, and it's not something that's saved to a profile on your PC. So if you really want to, you can download Swarm, change your settings, and delete the program after, if you know you're going to be happy with all of your settings for ever. But going back to the exterior of the mouse, we have a really nice braided cable here. It's really soft, quite nice. They design it this way, with a nice solid protruding little rubber bit there, so that it almost feels like you're moving around without a cord at all, and it sort of feels like a Bluetooth mouse, because it helps reduce that drag. Now our switches here are a optical switch, so that's just, if you don't know, that's just, instead of being mechanical, it's a little light that gets intersected when you push down the switch and sends a signal at the speed of light or whatever to your PC. So it's supposed to be extremely fast, and also it's supposed to increase the click lifespan. It's rated for 100 million clicks, although I don't know who the heck is going to click 100 million times. I calculated it out. If you click once every second, okay? Once every second, 8 hours a day for 10 years, then you might need a new mouse. Apart from that, there are a few more specific specs, like the 50G acceleration or whatever that means. You can check it out at the link in the description that I put there to Roccat's page for this mouse. And now what they don't write on that page, and what I've heard people mostly notice and care about in this mouse, and most mice, is the shape and the size, how it feels in your hand, and the clicks. Okay, so first of all, the shape and the size. It's a very medium size. It's nice. It's a good size. It's not too bulky, but it's, you know, it's not a micro mouse for sure. It sits in your hand really nice, kind of hits the back of your palm. Depends on your hand size, of course. But for me, just my palm can just sort of rest on it just a little bit and really easily have a comfortable kind of claw grip or a really wraparound palm. It's not super huge. It's a very medium-sized mouse, and so it's very universal, and it's a good shape. It doesn't have like a weird hump at the back or anything like that. And then, of course, if you're picky, you might notice the clicks. Personally, I've never really even owned a mouse of this caliber, so I'm not really nitpicky when it comes to all the little details. It sounds fine to me, honestly. But if you've had a lot of different gaming mice and you're really into the tactile, especially if you're, you know, really into those mechanical keyboards as well. Speaking of which, check out my review of the Roccat Vulcan Pro mechanical keyboard. I'll put a card up there. But anyway, back to the mouse. If you care a lot about that kind of stuff, you might notice it. It'll sound kind of annoying to you. I don't know, my mic isn't very good, but you might be able to. Personally, I don't really like the sound of the side buttons. But that's all a matter of preference. So if you know that you're really sensitive about that stuff, then honestly you might be a little turned off by that feature. But for most people, it's not going to be much of a problem. But anyway, I'm trying not to overcomplicate things here. I mean, it's a mouse. There really isn't too much to say about the experience except that it's solid and it's good and, you know, it's got good RGB. Just kidding. There's a lot more things that matter than that. But anyway, I think it's a great option, especially if you look at the cheaper Burst Core, which is its brother mouse, which is pretty much the same mouse, okay? You're gonna look at the same features and stuff. You're just not gonna have those Titan Optical switches in there, so it's not gonna have as fast of a response time, but for the average gamer, you're not going to notice in the first place. You're gonna have a 50 million click life cycle as well, instead of 10 million, but like I said before, if you click once every second for 8 hours of the day, it'll just last you 5 years instead of 10 years. So it's kind of like, I don't think most people click that much anyways. I know I don't. Even if I did play PC games more, I mean 8 hours a day, honestly. The other thing about the Burst Core rather than the Burst Pro is that it's half the price. Burst Pro comes in at 80 Canadian buckaroonies. The Burst Core comes in at 40. So it's just way cheaper if you just skim off some of those really premium hardcore gamer features that you might not really need, especially if you're not a competitive gamer. So both of them are really great options. Just like our sponsor for this video is a really great option. Wait, no it's not, because nobody sponsored this video, but one day they might. If you like the video, comment down below, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified for the next one. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the video, thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.